welcome back to the channel for another behind the scenes speed build for the Growing with the Grovers LP. So this is like what? Speed build number 3, I think? Number 2 out of 3 that I actually have to create before I can film the next episode, which is killing me because it's taking freaking forever. But I have so many things happening right now. In fact, I'm actually going to Vegas in 2 weeks with my best friend, so that's exciting. A lot of things that I have to get done. Oh my gosh. So the builds that I am creating for the next episode, I've already created one, and that was the Anchor Point Overlook. Basically, it's a beautiful scenic park on the coast of San Sequoia that overlooks the ocean. It is a great place to get engaged, elope, maybe go on a nice little romantic date. There's just so many things that you can do there, and I'm super excited to share that one with you. And then, of course, we are creating Linda Payne, aka Eric's mom's home. And because this is Eric's mom's home, there is a lot of baggage, a lot of history with this particular lot, which I will obviously dive into. We got like 20 minutes to chat, so you'll hear all about it. And then the third and final build is a restaurant, and I'm still struggling. Okay, so the restaurant is where Ayla and Perry both work at. So obviously, you know, Ayla Grover, her dad Perry, is a chef, a well-known or well-renowned chef. He's very well-known. He makes a lot of money, and I did notice that a few of you were thinking maybe a soul food restaurant would be good for him to work at. But then I was thinking, like, I don't know, maybe there. I mean, he makes a lot of money, so I was thinking something a little more upscale, maybe like an experimental restaurant or something along those lines. Maybe he even actually works in like Del Sol Valley, or I don't know. I haven't really quite landed on a decision just yet. I'm still thinking about it. So if you have any other ideas, please feel free to let me know. But yeah, those are the 3 builds that I actually have to make before I can film the next episode, because the next episode, y'all, it's getting hot and it's getting steamy and it's getting like, it's getting dramatic. I cannot wait. So anyway, yeah, the whole idea behind 2835 West Cactus Lane, which feels like such an official address, by the way, is that it is a mobile home, right? And this is probably like right now, what you're seeing right now is probably how it looked maybe even like 15 years ago. So if you haven't like heard the whole back history behind Eric's parents, Eric and Jeff Payne, they were married for quite some time, but unfortunately they had a very turbulent relationship. They were always fighting, always yelling, always screaming, and it was just over dumb stuff sometimes. And eventually it just led to the deterioration of their relationship. So Jeff decided he was done. He was filing for divorce. He left Eric behind. He left Linda the house. And you know, she used to be somebody who would take pride in her home. Yeah, it's a mobile home, but she loved it. Like, she loved this house. It was their house. They owned it, you know, and she would always keep it tidy and clean and smelling great, and she was just on top of it. But then after Jeff left, it started like slowly but surely started deteriorating. The pool wasn't being cleaned as much. The carpets were, you know, getting grimy and dirty. The walls were starting to get, you know, covered in filth, and things like that were starting to happen, and they weren't going unnoticed. And then when Eric finally left, you know, to obviously move in with Ayla because they had gotten pregnant at a really young age, that just kind of sent Linda over the edge. Like, Linda freaked out, you guys, when she found out that Eric was going to be a dad. And her, like, she's just she was very emotionally abusive too, which is really sad. Like, she said some very hurtful things, which in hindsight she regrets saying now. Like, she regrets it so much because it's those very things that she had said to Eric, like, you're a bad, like, you're gonna be a horrible father just like your dad. That's the exact reason why Eric hasn't brought Jacob around. Also, okay, Eric is kind of embarrassed of his upbringing, and he is embarrassed that he lives in a mobile home and that it looks the way that it does. Like, he hasn't actually seen it for himself, but he knows firsthand things are getting out of hand. And so it was one of the reasons why, you know, like, even before he left, like I mentioned, things had started kind of going downhill. And so it's one of the reasons why Ayla's never actually even seen Eric's childhood home or where he grew up or where he lived, is because he's ashamed, because Ayla comes from a pretty well-off family. Like, her dad has money. We know, we've seen him bail her out time and time again when things get tight, and Eric just doesn't have that privilege. And even though he is proud of who he is, he isn't necessarily proud of where he came from, and he can't say he was always proud of who he was, because he's made some pretty poor decisions, and a lot of them, okay, he's still getting remade blamed for. Y'all are not letting it go. You just don't trust him. No matter how much I try to tell you, he's changed. You're still giving him the side eye. And I get it. Like, I'm so protective over Ayla. I'm so protective over Jacob. Like, I don't want anybody to hurt them. You know what I mean? And also, like, I mean, we just don't know enough about the kid just yet to really make that concrete decision that he's a changed man. But hopefully he'll be able to prove you guys wrong. I mean, and I won't have to eat my own words. But anyways, while I was building this house, my whole idea behind it was essentially like recycled, salvaged, or, you know, dumpster dived, I guess, because a lot of the items in the home are tattered and old and, you know, just worn down past any point of saving. But I do think if you wanted to download this lot, like, you could make a decent home out of it. It's a pretty nice mobile home. I love the exterior. I love the colorway. I really love the siding too. I think this came with the Sims 4 ranch expansion, and I really just wanted to own the fact that I like to build realistically. I want my builds to look like something that you would drive by on the street. Granted, I'm wanting to maybe try some bigger builds, some like family homes and things like that, and maybe not give them like a crazy exterior, but something a little more realistic. I don't know why, but in conjunction with this reshade, the Sims 4 is starting to feel like more like real life for me. And that's great, because for a long time I didn't really know like if I was more of like a realism player or, you know, like where I stood. And so having this reshade, it's just really been it's been a blessing, because it's really been helping me find that inspiration and dig deep down and be able to produce some builds I'm personally very, you know, proud of. So I'm just doing some minor landscaping to the lot. I don't build a lot in Oasis Springs, so I wasn't really sure what types of, you know, vegetation I should use. I do have a lot of cactus. I have a lot of rocks and things like that, like little, you know, grass speckles here and there. The landscape has not been, landscape hasn't been manicured very much lately. Like, I don't even know what the hell is happening. Also, you'll notice some garbage throughout the lot too, because Linda hasn't been to the dump to throw things away that have broken over the years. So she has like her old fridge. She also has like an old tub before they switched to the shower tub combo. I think there's like a dirty mattress there and like a freaking old tire from her truck. And then also, like, what in the world is that? Like, the stove is just straight up kicking it there. Her truck, honestly, probably doesn't even work. And the fence, don't even get me started on the fence. This fence, it should get just taken down. Is it even a fence anymore? Like, what is it keeping out? It's bad, but it's good bad. It's like, I love it. It's so bad. So anyways, I'm doing a little bit of decorating to the porch here. We have like a camping chair. I think she found this on the side of the street, honestly. It's like an old children's like camper chair, and it's a little frog. I think it's super duper cute, but like, yeah, I don't even know. And then this part of the house is actually very special, and Eric has a lot of fond memories back here. This is actually the pool he learned to swim in, and he also used to cook a lot of glizzies. My son hates when I say, my 16-year-old, he hates when I say glizzies. He's like, Mom, don't say that, but like he cracks up every time I say it. So anyways, like, that's what I call hot dogs now. I call them glizzies. And so he would cook a lot of hot dogs and just spend, you know, his summer nights out here with his family and splashing in the pool and playing around. And, you know, he would die if it looked like it does, if he knew that it looked like it did now, because it's like, it's infested with mosquitoes and it looks like swamp water. It's disgusting. I mean, honestly, the sewage could be practically backing up into it and you wouldn't even know. There could be a body down there and you wouldn't even be able to see it. So that's another reason why I'd be super weary of bringing Jacob here, is because there's a lot of safety hazards. And the sad thing is, like, Linda doesn't really see anything wrong with it. She's so used to living in these conditions that she doesn't feel the need to fix anything. Also, she really just doesn't have a lot of money. She's unemployed at the moment, and, you know, there's really no inspiration for her to like clean this place up and get it looking how it used to, because nobody comes here, you know what I'm saying? So another thing that I played with was, I think, what is this called? I forgot what the feature's called. Is it like, it's like lot lot effects or something. So you're able to put in like mosquitoes and fireflies. I think you could add in like ducks and fish and things like that to like bodies of water. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to play with mosquitoes and fireflies. So over the pool, there will be like a bunch of mosquitoes, and then underneath like some of the trees and stuff, the bigger trees on the lot, there will be fireflies, which does create a very whimsical effect. It's very beautiful. But I decided to play with those because I never touch the lot effects, like, ever. And then because we do have air conditioning and things of that nature, I added in my vents, I did some switches, and then I really wanted to use this freaking towel. I think this is from Going Together. I could be wrong. Maybe it's from the bathroom kit. I honestly don't know, but I was able to implement tool and scale it to the size that I felt like fit the wall, because I think it just originally it looked way too big. It looked ridiculous. So I made it perfect for this area. And yeah, I also threw in some I'm laughing because I did this speed build before, and I threw in like a little rug underneath the toilet. And when I was like talking about it, it reminded me of when we got the bathroom clutter kit, and everybody was like, who the hell, well, not everybody, there was a few people that were like, who the hell puts carpet underneath the toilet? And I'm like, I thought like 90% of households did. Like, I thought this was like a common phenomenon. And then I'm like looking at my bathroom, and I got a rug near the tub. I got a rug underneath the toilet. And I'm like, am I doing something wrong here? Like, I get having carpet in the bathroom. That's disgusting. That's foul. That should never have ever been a thing. But having a carpet underneath your feet, like, don't your feet get cold? I mean, you can wash it if you pee on it or something. I don't know. Anyways, let me know if you have a carpet underneath your toilet, because I want to see something, okay? So here we go at the kitchen. I am just trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life. I don't want anything to match. I don't want anything in this house to make sense, which is perfect because there's no pressure for me. But I will say that stove is pretty damn nice considering where the hell Miss Linda lives. Also, you might notice some breaks in the counter. Like, it's not necessarily flush with the stove. That was intentional. This house just needs to get demolished, or somebody needs to buy it and renovate it, because I'm telling you, it's just, there's a lot of questionable things happening here. I really love these counters though, especially with like, well, not the counters, but the cupboards. Are they cupboards? I guess they kind of are. With the base game, actually, I take that back. This is city living. The worn down counters. I like that. I love that vibe. I've used this combination too many times, honestly. I know it's kind of annoying, but I just really like the way that it looks. And then I threw in this little table from a cottage living. And again, we're going back to the whole recycled, salvaged, reused, dumpster dived theme, flea market, extravaganza. Every chair doesn't match at the dinner table, but that's okay. Every chair has a story too, I'm sure. Like, Linda could probably talk about it for hours. Another thing, this place freaking stinks. I wish we had smell-o-vision for The Sims 4, but I think you can kind of tell by the filth on the wall. Miss Linda is a smoker, and she's a chain smoker. That's another reason why I wouldn't want Jacob like around her right now, because she just doesn't have the couth. Like, she doesn't have the wherewithal to not light up in front of her grandson. I mean, I hope she does, but I mean, it's been a really long time since she's had children, and like, times have changed. Like, she would smoke in front of Eric all the time, and I think Ayla would lose her ever-loving mind if that happened. I don't even, like, that's a whole nother conversation. I just don't even know if Ayla would ever be comfortable with Linda meeting Jacob. I know that there was talk about it in the previous episode. Like, she really wants to meet her grandson, and it's kind of crazy that Eric hasn't allowed that to happen. But, like I said earlier, like, Linda was very emotionally abusive. She said some really horrible things to Eric, and, as an attempt to protect Jacob, he's trying to not necessarily keep her away, but he's trying to see if introducing her into his life would be the smart choice. And I'm not so sure about that, honestly. I'm really not. First of all, this house, oh dear Jesus, like, I don't know. I haven't really thought that one out, and I don't know, especially now with Ayla being pregnant. Like, ooh, I feel it coming. I feel a storm of brewing. I can't even talk today, y'all. It's hot in my room. But anyway, yeah, so we're just finishing up the interior. I really like this couch. The print of this couch is just trashy, and it's also serving like major 70s realness, which is great, because like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever used this couch. I don't really love the back of it, but I love like the shape, and I love the like fabric and The pattern's really pretty on it too. I also threw in that Sims 1 plant because it's just tacky. I feel like you'd find that at a garage sale. It's like low poly. It's all the things. It's literally this home in a freaking nutshell. And I love it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start moving towards the bedrooms. I'm just adjusting the windows because those were a little bit wonky. And we're going to start off with Eric's bedroom. So in case you guys didn't know, as a child, Eric was very talented musically, right? He loved to play the drums. He loved to busk on his guitar. He just loved to immerse himself in music for many reasons, but the ultimate reason was it drowned out the noise. It drowned out the arguing between his parents. And so he'd be in his room, bam, bam, just bashing on the drums, just jamming out on his guitar. And he found a lot of inspiration in these four walls, especially everything that he had gone through. And he really wanted to become a musician. Like that was his goal in life, to become a famous musician. It never happened for him, obviously, because once he had found out about Jacob, he immediately went to what he knew, what he saw his parents do in order to put food on the table. And obviously it didn't necessarily work out for him, but he had to put his dreams on hold. And so I don't know, just seeing this room exactly how it was the day he left, and the fact that Linda hadn't touched or changed a thing, I don't know how he would react. Like I feel like he would be kind of like sucked back into this, like, you know, like time warp or something. Like it's like a time capsule almost. It's wild. But I had a lot of fun decorating this room. I used the little like newspapers from the werewolf pack. I really love like the wall decals from that pack, and I don't know, I just wanted it to be like his little, you know, his little jamming corner essentially. And these wardrobes are such a godsend. Like I am obsessed. They came with the Sims 4 Ranch, the Sims 4 Ranch expansion, Horse Ranch expansion, and I use them so much. Oh my god, I'm so happy that we have them. But in case you were wondering about the drum set, that is custom content, and I will link it down below. But once I upload this build to the gallery at Gen2.606, it won't be there because I don't want it to be flagged for custom content. But if you wanted to, you could totally download this. It's free to download, and then you'll be able to have some drums for your little ones. Also, that little like hole in the wall also has a bit of a story. Basically, Eric's parents had been fighting for like the 5th time that week, and Eric just could not take it anymore. They were just bickering over the most trivial things ever, and he had lost his ever-loving mind. It was to the point where even his drums weren't able to drown out the noise. So he just remembers like clenching his fists and screaming and punching the drywall and making a huge gaping hole. His dad lashed out on him so hard and screamed at him, and just, it was awful. It was completely awful. He did try to fix it, but you know, obviously he wasn't capable of completely covering up the hole, so it's still there, kind of, sort of, I guess. Anyways, moving on to Linda's bedroom. This is her space. It's a little cluttered, I would say. I mean, we already know Linda isn't the most tidiest sim in the world. I wouldn't say she's like a hoarder, but she definitely is a little unorganized for sure. So I have like a little desk here with this vintage chair. I wasn't really sure what to put on here because obviously she doesn't have the money for a computer. So we just have like a lot of like trinkets and odds and ends, things she couldn't find like places to store them. Also, that lamp is like that lamp is just so perfectly Linda. I kind of like it though. When I like found it in the catalog, I had to give it to her because I don't know, I felt like it fit her so well. I didn't know what to put on this desk, so I just kind of played with a different variety of things. And I also did throw in some laundry baskets. So I have a mod by Little Miss Sam, and it allows your Sims to go to the laundromat for 10 simoleons, and they're able to obviously clean their clothes. Now, if you don't have that mod or you're not interested in getting that mod, all you need to do is just put down one of those little clotheslines and like a, you know, like a, I guess like a water bucket, and you'll be good to go. But anyways, I really wanted to emphasize the fact that Miss Linda is a coffee drinker. Her teeth are literally stained yellow because she drinks coffee so much, and so I wanted this little part of the kitchen to be her corner. So I put her favorite mug, and then I even gave her like a little mug rack and things like that. She likes to drink her coffee black, which I personally feel is absolutely freaking disgusting. I don't know how the hell people do it, but they do. I love sugar. I love a little cream. I could never drink it black. But anyways, that's pretty much the story of Linda. Like, I just feel like she is a very like codependent person, and I feel like she has kind of sucked the soul out of Eric, and she has created a very, you know, like was it tumultuous, some big word that I can't pronounce, environment, and he's just conflicted. He's stuck between burning that bridge or trying to see if he can rekindle any type of relationship, and if that relationship would even extend to Jacob. You know, he does feel bad that he hasn't brought her around him, but like, I mean, read the room. Look at where we're standing right now, you know? So I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best idea, but I haven't really crossed that bridge yet. So I guess we'll decide once that time comes. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and finish wrapping up the build. I don't really have a lot left to do, just trying to fill in some dead spaces there. That little corner of the house is probably like the most awkward part of it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing with it. But anyway, I'm really happy with the way that the build turned out. I definitely think it's exactly how I envisioned it. It's very real, it's very raw, it's very Linda, and I can't wait to see how it fits into the story. I mean, you kind of already know, but you know, when we actually visit it, if we do. I don't know. Are we? I don't know. Anyways, I feel like I'm telling you way too much. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope y'all enjoyed. And if you did, you know what to do. Don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below where the sun does not shine. And I will see you all next time.